Well, hello there. We made it to episode 2. Welcome back to Karate Ramblings. I'm Kieran from Kenji Karate, and
I'm Brian Bates from Zanshin Karate.
yeah, so we are here today to do a bit of a discussion about one of the best training weekends can honestly say I've ever been on.
Yeah, for me it was awesome. So we've done some cool things in the past, but um, this was pretty epic. So we had a pretty cool road trip. Four people from the dojo, well, us two and two others. I say the road trip. The journey down there was a bit hectic, but it was worthwhile in the end. We got to do some awesome training. So
Hmm.
um, Yeah, do you want to? So we were saying the title of this, if it's still going to be the same, is Karate meets Kudo, Sambo, and Tai Chi. So they're the three things that we've done this weekend. So if we start off with the Kudo, Kieran, what do you reckon? It's the
Yeah, of
first up
course.
on the
So,
list, wasn't it?
yeah, absolutely. So, for those who don't know, Kudo is karate and judo fused together. Now, they didn't seem to have the most creative of names, but we'll accept it because holy hell, is it a fantastic martial arts slash fighting system. It's very impressive. It was came from what was called Kakuto Karate, and the guy who invented it, Grandmaster Takeshi Azuma, he was concerned about the number of injuries, from what I remember, that people got in full contact karate. So he designed different rules and added different things into it. Invented the very famous space helmet Kudo head guard, and yeah, Kudo, it's fantastic martial art, full contact, basically MMA in a gi is the easiest way to
Yeah,
describe it.
and I was going to say, yeah, I think that's what. I don't know if it's Mal's strapline or if it's Kudo strapline, but it is traditional MMA, is what they call it, isn't it? I
Mm,
know that's on Mal's dojo, traditional MMA.
yeah.
I think maybe mainly because they do it in gi, which I think is a good addition. You know, if you do for us, we train in gi, and we generally wear clothes, so you've got things to hold on to. So people in a cage in just a pair of shorts,
Mm,
it's different. So I think Kudo adds a bit more realism to it as well
yeah.
with being able to grip clothing.
Realism, but it also adds the extra safety layer with the helmet, the astronaut helmet. So that's the three biggest differences between Kudo and like a UFC one championship style MMA. It's not fought on a cage, it's fought on tatami mats. It's you're wearing clothes, not just the skinny short shorts. And you're wearing a traditional Kudo gi.
Yeah, and well, we could go into the rules, but I think we'll talk about our trainer. I think one of the big differences as well with the ground and pound, it only lasts for a short while, doesn't it, Kim? I mean, you've trained Kudo more than I have, so
Yeah, so
you know.
for those who don't know, I've done about, I want to say 6 months. That's the number I settled in my head of Kudo training. Kudo Hertfordshire. It's a fantastic way to train. It is with the ground and pound to I think it is in that still that same mind of injury prevention, is that you'll strike down, but you'll only stop short of their head, then you pull back up, strike down, because that'll give you your points. If I remember right, it's you're allowed to do 5 points while they're on the ground, get 5 points. So five, we're called kime strike. So strike down, mean the strike, but don't make contact. Up, down, and up. And you can also mimic a stamp with your foot to their head. So imagine if they're lying down, you've got their wrist, they're down below you, you're still stood up. Strike, strike, stamp, stamp. That's the way to do it. But the flip side of that is if you are the one who's on the floor, or if you're in like a bottom mount and they're on top and they're giving the Kimmy strikes, if you're underneath them, you are allowed to hit them as hard as you want.
Yeah, full contact, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
So if
So yeah,
you can get a good lucky strike to just go anywhere, you've got it. You've got it. Yeah, it's
that's
fantastic.
it.
So
Cool. Right. So our well, we turned up on the Friday, didn't we? And
mm,
we met up with Mal and saw one of the programs that he was running for the young people in the area. So we
yeah,
haven't mentioned actually, yeah, the GKA dojo in Barry in Wales. That's where we went. We
yeah.
already said that. under Mal Sanchez Jones. Awesome guy. So yeah, he was doing a youth program as we turned up. It was really nice to see the tail end of that. See him give these young kids confidence and just to give them a skill set that they can use. So that was cool. But our main training started on the Saturday. So probably being the oldest in our group, I was a little apprehensive, thinking, "Have I got the fitness for this?" And the skill set, because these are combat athletes. They are
Mm.
um, good fighters. So we started off with the Kudo warm up. So you remember this, Kieran, from your Kudo
Yeah,
days. So it starts off.
absolutely.
Go on, tell us
So
how it
the
starts off.
the Kudo warm up. So say to start off with that, like it is in any kind of combat sports dojo. Start usual running rounds. You'll do some stretching. You'll do a little bit of calisthenics to move you around. But then they move into what they call the Kion. So the basics. So it's the Kudo basics. Like in karate, we've got our Agyukis, we've got our Shito-ryus. For the Kudo basics, it's get yourselves into a fighting stance, hands up, and sensei will give a count up to 10. You go punch, punch, punch to the head, and then you do 10 to the head, you do 10 to the body, and you keep doing that with every single punch. So you do jabs, crosses, hooks, um, kicks, roundhouses, elbows. You run through
Elbows and knees, wasn't
basically
it?
any kind of like major strike.
What I really liked about the Kudo basics, as opposed to karate basics, there was no blocks. So
Mm.
all of the basics in the warm up were just strikes. So when they did their kion, it was, yeah, like Kieran just mentioned, it was all strikes. Whereas karateka, we spend a lot of time on the ukiwaza, agyuki, uchiyuki, shutouki, all those kind of things. But yeah, it was all offensive, all the offensive stuff. So
Yeah, but also just looking at the differences between the two there, um, we don't use anything like a uchiyoki as a block to stop a punch or to stop an attack. A lot of the time when we're practicing, we work on the covers, but because Kudo, they practice hands up all the time, they've got their cover if they need to. So they there is a good similarity there. And our ukiwaza we mostly use as the close quarters grappling style
yeah.
techniques, and they do have a lot of stand-up grappling. I mean, it's half of Kudo is judo. So, but the difference is they won't practice it the same way we do. They practice that in the actual drill, whereas we will have the separate solo drill. Then we have the pad drill. Then we have the person drill as well.
Hmm. So now after the basics, after the Keon that we did, he ran us through. So then we did some parts. So that was all solo, and then we did some partner drills.
Mm,
Um, so I think if I remember right, maybe the first one we did was with the guard up, both hands up, and then it was the shoulder touch. So your partner would touch like effectively simulate a left jab, and then a right cross, and then a left hook, and
mm,
then as the one receiving that, you was just uh, parrying or shifting to one side, shift the other side, and then duck underneath, and then get to the outside and get to a position of advantage. And it was a to and fro drill, which was really cool. In fact, we did it with the class on Monday because we liked it so much. So
yeah,
it's a really good one for movement. So
yeah,
slipping is what was the
yeah,
word I was looking
yeah.
for. Yeah, so just a slipping drill.
It's a great drill because it also the reminder. I mean, we also sometimes in karate, I think we do forget this a little bit, but if we are hands up, we think chin down, we also think shoulders up. So if you're slipping, boom, you've still got that shoulder there to protect an incoming shot, just in case.
Yeah.
If your hands fail, you've got your shoulders. That's your next line of defense. So yeah, we did that, and then we also threw that into okay, you've slipped, you've slipped. You can also dive in with a leg grab and
That
take
was it. Yeah.
head
Yeah.
into the armpit, take them off balance. I mean, it's
So
just
yeah,
it's just the
shot
idea.
shot in with a leg pick, wasn't it? That was pretty cool actually.
Mm,
Um, I was fumbling a bit to start with actually, just getting once you got it, it was just such a smooth thing to do, and it was
mm.
really good. So yeah,
You,
visualize it, slip left, slip right, and then yeah, dive in for the leg pick.
yeah, that
Um,
actually that it's actually quite similar to something that Les Bubka showed us at the Bunkai Basher last year. he was he was getting under someone's shoulder and just straightening up and
That's it.
tipping
Yeah,
them back as well. So, I mean, you know, realistic wrestling applications there. And then we also threw in a roundhouse where we slipped off and grabbed
that's right. Yep,
kick
yep.
catch.
So yeah, it's a good job you're talking here, Kieran, because you're the one with the memory.
Mm.
Mine's been punched out of me. Um, so yeah, after we did that, the one that I really liked was because obviously in Kudo you're allowed to headbutt, and I quite like a headbutt, so we often put it in our drills. With the headgear, we didn't wear any headgear at the weekend. We just
Nah.
went through the drills. We did some kickboxing or some sparring towards the end. But yeah, the one I liked it was so you've got your lapel grab, you've gone for a headbutt, and then two knees to the thighs, and then an ashi barai. And what I really liked about that was the two knees closed the legs down, brought your opponent's legs together, which just was a perfect setup for the sweep.
Yeah.
So that was a beautiful, beautiful technique.
Yeah. It
So
also like it demonstrates that idea of like when you are in that fight, use pain compliance to get what you want out of them. So pain, get your legs together. That the opponent's thinking more about, oh, ow, ow. They're not actually thinking, oh crap, my legs are about to be kicked out from underneath me, and boom,
yeah,
they hit the floor. It's very
yeah,
good, very effective.
yeah, yeah. So that was I think that was well. There was so many to choose from, but that was one of my
Mm,
favourites. I would say, yeah, because I do like a sweep, and maybe saw that Cobra Kai I watched. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So that was one of my faves. I think. I can't think what else we did, but I do know we did about an hour of sparring, which
At least, and I I
which
absolutely love that. So I
yeah,
think it was soon after we did that one. We it was boxing gloves on. We were practicing with the slipping for a bit, and then we did five 2-minute rounds of boxing, freestyle boxing, he said.
felt longer.
Felt
But
longer. Okay.
no,
Oh,
actually no,
you're
no,
throwing a
that's just because
challenge
I'm
there,
old.
mate.
Yeah. No, it felt longer. But yeah, you're probably dead right. So yeah. And yeah, so that was the boxing rounds. But we also did went to sort of kickboxing type rounds as well, didn't we? After that,
Yeah,
um, so I must say, I thought people of all grades in that class, in the kudo class, and they were all of a good standard. Do you know what I mean? I even thought,
yeah,
there was, I said, but he had background. There was a white belt in the room, wasn't there? And hats off to him. He's got four people turning up to the dojo. He's a beginner. He's been there for 3 weeks, and he still comes. This is the good thing about Mao's class. Everybody chips in.
yeah.
And everybody's all welcoming, aren't they? So
Yeah, everyone pulls their own weight. Like we've said, I mean, I think you described it quite well, is that they move as a unit.
yeah, yeah,
If someone goes to compete, people go and watch, they go and cheer on, or they compete themselves. If someone's hosting an event, or if there's something happening nearby, they're all like, "I'm up for that. Let's go down. Let's take a look."
yeah,
It's
yeah. So like I say, yeah, I was fighting all grades there, so like beginners and they all had the confidence to just step up to the mark and hold their own, So I was really really impressed, and it just shows, you go into a fighter's gym and people are there to fight,
yeah,
So but it was all with respect as well, Like I say, there was no egos in the room, everybody was there to learn and improve. So
mm,
yeah, it was for me the kudo was my favourite part. So
yeah,
coming from a striking background, so I really really enjoyed it. So I don't
yeah.
know how you felt at the end of that kudo session, Kieran.
I felt fantastic. I mean, I just want to touch on a little.
How did you feel when you went in? Tell everybody how you felt when you went
Oh
in.
dear. So I don't drink as much as I normally do these days. So I might or might not have had a shot of something that was 70% the night before and woke up
Yeah.
incredibly hungover, slowly eating my Morrison's toast breakfast in the morning. The way I've been describing it to people is like I was like a sloth from the film Zootopia, where they're just going,
It, it was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. But I have respect for you, man, for just doing that, for doing that session,
I
because
mean,
I think I'd have just gone back to bed.
as soon as I
You were,
finished the running around the dojo at the start, I was fine. I was like, come on, let's get stuck in. You call
yeah,
that a
yeah.
jab? This is a jab. But the thing that
Yeah.
I yeah, back to like the no ego thing. So compared to a lot of like, I suppose not a lot, to be fair. I've not been to tons, but some like meathead MMA gyms or combat gyms where it's like, oh, I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. Here it was like no one tried to knock my head off. Everyone was like, okay, I'll give you something to think about. Slip, slip, move, give you something else to think about. Can you figure out the patterns? It was a lot of give and take. It wasn't like, I mean, to be fair, if anyone in that gym wanted to, they could have easily like destroyed us.
We
But
could have took it up another level, yeah, but it was sparring, isn't it? At the end of the day,
yeah.
so sparring for me in our dojo, sparring is developing skill sets. So we exactly what we did. Leading up to the sparring in Mal's class, we drilled some techniques, and then you try and put them into sparring. So it's developing those skills, offering openings, and try to see if you can see those openings. But yeah, at the end of it though, for me, I mean, I was absolutely ruined, So I didn't feel like Kieran at the start. I felt slightly better than Kieran at the start, although I had a few to drink the night before as well. Yeah, I've not worked so hard in such a long time.
Mm,
So it was a physical and a mental challenge for me as well, just to get. I mean, it's only a 2 hour. Say only. It was a 2 hour session, and then for me, it was a hard session.
mm.
Um, I would say I was probably the oldest in the room. I'm gonna take that. I'm older than Mal,
Oh, okay,
so
fair,
yeah, yeah.
fair.
So only by a few years. I mean, Mal's as fit as a fiddle as well, isn't he? So
Oh yeah, he's
yeah,
anything that any of the like 20 year olds or teenagers were doing in the room, Mal was doing that as well as teaching. So,
yeah,
hats off to him. Massive, massive respect to Mal and all of his students.
yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, Kudo, such a great martial art. I mean, like when I
So
was training it in Hertfordshire, it's so much fun, but it's also like, really relevant to any form of fighting, whether you're stand-up grappling, whether you're punching and kicking, or if you're on the ground rolling around, it's covers everything. It's got you
yeah.
covered on all basis
In fact, that's how we finished the session. Was it? Was that yes? That's how we finished the kudo session
with a bit of
with a bit
rolling.
of yeah, a bit of rolling. Yeah, yeah. Because there was another drill that we did some pass in the guard, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we also
Yeah.
threw in some strikes as well. So it was a
So it
jiu-jitsu
wasn't.
style rolling where we could get in like some submission, but we were also like, okay, throw in the strike, give them something to think about, get them
Yeah.
moving, get yourself moving to better positions. So it's fantastic dynamic. I think we should try and implement that a little bit as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. Yeah. So at the end of that, we went back to our Airbnb,
Mm,
and one of the guys couldn't make it for reasons we won't explain.
yeah, let's
But
not.
he stayed at home anyway.
Yeah, he had a
Um,
canon event.
and he watched us walk back across the car park, and he just said, we all looked around. I think it was on the phone to his wife, and he said it was on a video call. And he just turned the phone around just for her to laugh at us because we were dragging our heels across the car park. We looked battered and beaten.
I mean,
Um,
personally, for me, my hangover was starting to creep back in. I was like, oh no, not again. It wasn't the
yeah.
training that did it. The training was the cure.
So we basically had 3 hours rest then. So our morning session was 10 till 12, and then we was going to resume at 3 o'clock. I walked straight in the door and I said, I'm going to bed. So I went to bed for about an hour. So I had a power nap.
Mm.
Took on loads of fluid because I fortunately took 2 gi. So my first one was absolutely drenched. So I was wearing the second one in the afternoon. But yeah, I had my power nap, had some food, had some water, plenty of water, and then yeah, somehow you managed to get over your hangover, ready for the Sambo in the afternoon, didn't you? So
Yeah, yeah, it was having a nice BLT sandwich in the just after we finished, it sorted me out. But yeah, that was it as well. About that next session, I mean, Sambo, from what I can see in the UK, it is a fairly rare combat sport, but honestly, like it was brilliant. It was
yeah,
absolutely fantastic.
we was saying, wasn't we? Mao does like his niche combat sports, doesn't he? So yeah, pick the two sort of most rare combat sports in the UK. Oh no, I'll have Kudo and Sambo. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, both of them.
Mal,
Yeah,
Mal
but
can't be basic. He can't be mainstream. He's got his niche. He's got his
yeah,
style.
yeah. But so Sambo is a grappling art, isn't it? So you got sports Sambo and combat Sambo. I think sport is just grappling. And the combat sambo includes strikes. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
main difference between the two. That's what I got from Mal as the main
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, that is, I
Um,
think. I mean, like I said, it's a bit obscure in the UK. I honestly, I've never really come across it apart from with it at Sensei Mao's, but it was brilliant. It was
yeah.
such a good time.
So we started that session having been brutalized for 2 hours during Kudo. We went to the dojo at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and Mal's like, right, we're going to start this session with circuit. So he's got a pretty cool gym there as well, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, there was how many stations? 6 stations maybe, or 7 stations.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So
7 stations.
he had two Uchikomi bands. He had one grappling dummy that you put go knee on belly. He had one grappling dummy which you were sprawling on. He had a this pull down machine. He had a
Row machine.
rowing machine, and to top it all off, he had an area you could run in.
Running station. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was again, it was I kind of I feel that that kind of set me up actually, because I was when he said we're going to do a circuit, I was like, oh man, I'm fucked already. I'm done in already before we even started.
Mm.
But it actually kind of picked me up. I thought, right, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
It's it yeah. By the end of it, I was ruined again. But that was the first half hour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or more or less was our circuit. So once we'd covered the circuit, we started going through a few drills, partner drills, didn't we, Kieran? So
Yeah. We went
you got
over
good
because
memories. So
yeah. So Kudo, sorry, not Kudo, Sambo. Please don't hurt me, Mal. Sambo is it is with a gi jacket. So they was going over a few different variations of the different grips you can go through because it is a unique jacket because you've got the lapel going down the center, then you've got another little lapel by the shoulder. You got a little shoulder pad there you can grab onto. So playing around with them for a bit, and then we went over some we went over a lot of different sacrifice throws.
yeah, yeah.
So
So most of them I was comfortable with. There was a couple sort of we had onto the neck. I suffered whiplash maybe about 3 months ago, so I wasn't confident doing that. So again, no egos in the room. He's like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. So I think I sat out for two of the things there. So,
hmm.
but yeah, you're good with names as well, Kieran. So you might remember some of the things that we done.
Names. Oh, I don't remember the name. I remember the Fawley one. I remember the grippy one. No, but we did go over a few different ones. One of them was very it was a variation on Tani Otoshi, which is Valley Drop, found in judo and probably in traditional jiu-jitsu as well, probably BJJ too. But it's yeah, grip up, you fall behind them, stick your leg out, let them drop, and then
Yeah,
take the mount. And then yeah, from there, so it was very good. So Sensei Kieran, who I was training with, was very yeah. I know there's more than one Kieran. It's a weird one,
there's
It's just like
there's a
Kieran,
lot of
which
Kierans
one?
here in that room. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't help that we got more than one Kieran in our club now as well. So
yeah,
um yeah, it was brilliant because it was like, okay, you're here. Okay, what's your next move? Okay, think about what you could do next. So you're gonna go for the pin, you're gonna go for a hold down, you're gonna try and find a way to get a submission. Yeah, are you gonna change position? There's tons of like different possibilities and holds and things you can do. I mean, that's the Sambo is very much like wrestling in a gi. So it just
mm,
adds that many more options to your game. Yeah, so we went over that. We also went over a forward sacrifice throw from a Makikomi grip, which basically means you've got a they're behind you. They got your arm underneath your armpit. You've gripped on, and you've just rolled forwards.
yeah.
We
That
went
was I think
over
that's
a
one of my favourites because it was easy. It was so easy.
yeah. It
Literally
was
just
just yeah,
fall down and twist. Yeah,
yeah.
just
Fall down,
spiral down as you fall down.
pin them, fall down, and let your weight do the work. It was
Yeah,
effective, wasn't it? So
yeah,
yeah, we did that, and we did a couple of like different grips and locks from like turtle position. And yeah, to finish it all
oh,
off, we
was that yours or Jack's favourite? I can't think. Or whose favourite was it? You have to
so
open the gi jacket.
yeah, no, the Mal said that the head of the Sambo UK favorite technique was this one. We sort of open up their gi jacket from the front while they're in turtle, while they're bent over down. That doesn't sound great, but you rip open the jacket and you sort of twist them over that way. by the time they flipped over, you've got your both hands on that lapel, pinning them to the floor like it's a seatbelt basically,
Yeah,
and very effective.
it was good technique. Yeah, and that Sambo session was then finished with some randori or sparring, wasn't it? So
Yeah, so
um,
basically
probably
similar rules to judo and BJJ. Yeah, it's all manner of throws to get them on the ground, and then roll around to get a pin slash submission. And honestly, like those guys, I don't know how long they've because they're the head branch of Sambo in Wales. I don't know how long they've been practicing that for, but to be fair, considering how they fight with Kudo anyway, it did not take them long at all to become absolute beasts at Sambo. It was just
yeah,
incredible.
yeah. They I say they're all skillful fighters, aren't they? So
Mm,
they train hard, don't they? And they also play hard because
yeah.
after that Sambo session, we went back to our Airbnb, and then we was out for a curry in,
Mm,
on the Saturday night, and that that was the social thing that we did, and that was good fun. So talking about working hard, and I say they play hard as well. Although I think by the previous meeting we had with them last year, that there was a bit of a tame one, wasn't it? Saturday night.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
they weren't on holiday, they weren't away. It was like, oh, they're the hosts,
yeah,
give the guests the drink, But what was it? I love what Sensei Mao said. It was a saying passed on from the I think it was Sensei Takeshi Azuma who passed this on to him was, if you train Kudo, you fight together, you drink together, and you sing together. Now, I remember, I thought that was a little bit of an interesting one, but then I also remember karaoke is very popular in Japan. So it's like,
yeah,
oh, you fight, you drink, you go out and you sing
yeah,
your heart out. So I think, that's very good, like team building as well. Like we
yeah,
said, they move as a unit.
yeah. So that was our Saturday over, wasn't it? And then we all we had left then was the Tai Chi, and this was
Yeah.
the strange one for us, having a weekend of fighting and drinking, and it was like, I'm going to go and do something really mellow now, and
Yeah.
it it was a really cool experience. I've never done Tai Chi in my life.
Yeah.
We did it down on Barry Island at the beach. So we said if the tide was out, we were on the beach. If the tide was in, which it happened to be, we was up on the promenade, weren't we? So
Yeah.
up the top
Honestly,
there.
like
But we was yeah, go on.
it was like a very surreal and unique experience. I think you'll only ever find that in a few places in the world where you're doing Tai Chi after a really, really intensive weekend, and then you're there taking it easy whilst just looking at that beautiful ocean view. It was
Yeah,
surreal. It was, a bit euphoric almost, but the breathing, the moving, it's just fantastic way to wake up.
it was yeah, and it was a perfect finish to that weekend, wasn't it? We've done all that combative stuff, and then we've just done something quite mellow at the end, which it kind of well, for me, I felt brilliant afterwards. I think I said I felt brilliant afterwards. I'm still aching now, actually, from our weekend. So I did a weight session. We trained last night, didn't we, Kieran? So
Oh
I woke
yeah.
up this morning. I woke up this morning and aches and pains, but it's all been
Mm.
worth it. It's all been well worth it. But yeah,
Honest,
that Tai Chi was a really good way to finish it.
yeah. I mean, like you're saying, like when we got back, honestly, for the past couple of days, I've been buzzing. I've just been thinking, yeah, fight, 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 fight. But somebody punched me. It doesn't feel right without it. So, it
Yeah,
was
there's plenty of people at the club that'll oblige, Kieran.
yeah,
I think they'll
yeah.
be queuing up.
They got a lineup exactly. So,
Yeah,
the fight, the heavy, and the Tai Chi. It was a local community group that Sensei Mao runs, and it's just really pleasant is the best
yeah,
way I can describe it. So if you've ever been to like Barry Islands and like if you know the area, like just this group of people have the opportunity to wake up, go down to go down to their beach and do Tai Chi with some great people. So honestly, I am a bit jealous.
yeah. But so we're almost time out now. So what I will say, if we're going to wrap this up, the GKA dojo is all welcoming. You know, if you you know, there's no politics. If you've got a good attitude towards training, Mal's, you know, he'll welcome you with open arms. I'm sure, you know, and I'm sure Kieran will agree with that. And Mal said,
Absolutely.
you know, no egos, no politics. We just reach out to Mal. You know, you can have him at your dojo, I'm sure, because he goes around and he teaches seminars all around the country.
Mm.
Or you know, to take the experience we did, you know, pay Barry a visit. Um,
Yeah, it
Barry
is a
Islands, not
unique
Barry.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah, Barry Island.
not just don't just find a random Barry and just like try and visit him. I don't think they'd appreciate that. But
Yeah,
you know, Goshin Kudo Academy in Wales, search it up. Absolute gem.
yeah,
Absolute gem.
yes. Can't sing their praise enough. Like I say, Mal's top coach. He's got some good coaches at the dojo as well.
Mm,
So I trained with AJ a lot over that weekend. And you know, the bits that I was struggling with, you know, even through the circuit, I was going, "Oh, I'm dying here." AJ's going, "You can get through it, Bri." You know, so it was just encouraging me, and you know,
mm.
going too long. So it's top guys. You know,
Yeah,
you can't knock them. So yeah, if you're down that neck of the woods, or if you're not down that neck of the woods, you know, get there. It's a brilliant place to train. Um,
absolutely.
yeah. So for us, we've not got nothing on the cards for a little while, have we? So
No, no, but
our
yeah,
I was going to say our next, well, I think I know our next booked on is the Karate for Mental Health up the north. Trying to
Wakefield,
think, yeah, in Wakefield. So that'd be northeast, north. Anyway, north of us.
north of us,
In
exactly.
Yeah, north in Wakefield. So that's got Peter Considine, absolute legend. John Johnson, another great
Mm,
legend. You know, Tommy J Moore's teaching there, the ginger legend. So Steve Lowe, who I've not yet met, conversed online with him, so I'm looking forward to that. And Steve Williams, so I have trained with on the Wakefield Thursday morning sessions, only once or twice, but yeah, again, he's awesome. So that's the next thing we're looking forward to. I'm sure something will happen in between because we're training all the time.
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
There's no break for us. But
yeah, and
yeah, for me, I think after that as well, in October, just going back to Kudo because you know, for me, it is something that I do take a good interest in. And yeah, there's going to be a grading held up in Kudo, Yorkshire. So I'm going to be getting myself geared up and traveling down to grading that in October. So plenty to keep us
awesome.
busy.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that'll do from us for episode 2, which we made it. So
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we'll see everybody for episode 3, eh, Kieran?
Absolutely. So yeah, as the usual, I'm Kieran. You can find me at Kenji Karate MA Martial Arts. And
Yeah, Brian Bates Sanchin Karate. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, for God's sake. Yeah, all of those. Yeah, anything. Yeah,
TikTok, mate,
just
start
Brian.
judging him in the comments already, please.
Okay, we'll see you all next time then.
Awesome.
Us.